Hello again. Just carrying on from yesterday's video. Around that. Look, this purports to be a Baldwin VO1000. From the information that I've been able to glean on the net, there's a site that's called HO Collector. He's actually got a blurb on this particular model by Flieschmann. And it was quite interesting to read. This basically was produced in 1955, and like the VO series were produced between 1936 to 1947, so kind of fits in with the time frame that Flieschmann had commenced business in Germany after the war, West Germany. And as my friend David over in Canada told me, that they produce these for the US servicemen and women to send home to their kids or their nieces and nephews, well, probably their nephews back in those days. That was Flieschmann building a market, trying to cash in on the American HO model craze at the time. I thought this looked a bit oversized, to tell you the truth. Flieschmann have a bit of a reputation for not being true to scale back in the early days. It's primarily because of the motors. It was like Trying and Hormy 00 went to the 00 scale because of the size of the motors, and this has got a fair size motor in it too, so I'm not too sure. I've had a look at a few photos of the V01000s, and there's another one that's a 660. It's not really a 660, it's more in line with a 1000 from what I can see in the photographs, but still a nice model. And also the HO Collector site also says that these came in generic colours, not just the Chicago and Northwestern. So I'm wondering if this is an original paint job, because it's really well applied. It doesn't look like it's been done by an amateur, so it looks factory. I'll get this little SW7 out of the way for a second. And the paintwork looks faded. That yellow, that white line should be, or that yellowy looking line should be white. And if you have a look, the numbers painted pretty well. So I'm wondering whether I have actually got an original, just generic style version of this model. Anyway, I'd be interested if anyone knows out there. I mean, because you can see from that's being chipped, that paintwork there, and it doesn't look like it's covering up any other colour. So, yeah, I'd be interested to know if anyone else has one, or if they can tell me whether this has been repainted. But anywho, just going on about also that they didn't have a long career, the old Baldwins. Only in there for about a dozen or so years. The railway companies were more loyal to the EMDs and the SW3s. They were the more popular switches at the time. So not a long career for the Baldwins, unfortunately. It looks impressive. The old Pennsylvania. This is one of my favourites. It's a 90, but geez, it runs well. We'll get that out of the way. Anyway, get this back here. This is just a parts model. I've got it's a Mikado. I said yesterday it was a Pacific that they produced. It's not. It's a Mikado 282. This is just a parts model that I have for my other one that I needed spare parts to get it running, and so yeah, this one was for sale on eBay, so I bought it and I was able to get a complete model going, so it came along at the right time. Size wise, like this, my other one, it's a Great Northern Mikado. So in this particular instance, there's one of my hairs there, I'll get that out right. Flieschmann did a pretty good job. It looks in staying in scale. That's where the motor goes. It looks like it's a similar to a XO4 motor that Hornby use. It slides down in there, and the worm gear on the end of it, as opposed to Rivarossi with that can motor with the drive. The shaft goes down, connects to a wound gear that down in behind where the axles are there. But, I mean, this is quite an old model too. This would be a 70s version. But yeah, I was pretty impressed. And just on the with Flieschmann providing toys to or manufacturing model trains for servicemen. There we are. Here we have a page dedicated to it, and this is a 1971 manual, and there we are. This is one page in the catalogue dedicated to their US customers. Quite a nice looking Santa Fe diesel there. It looks quite well modelled too. You could get a bit of rolling stock with some cars and things. So yeah, the US servicemen were catered for back during the Cold War there, which I found interesting. So there you are. So that's 71. So they were still doing it. I don't know. Is that the worst name for a model railway shop? It was in South Australia. So anywho, there's my Mikado. This is the working one. I thought I'd just give it a run just to show you pulling some cages. I don't know if Mikados were more freight, I suppose. But here we go. It's a lovely model, even though it's primitive. There you go, look at that. And that's quite a heavy weight. They're all tin plate except that carries with the line, but it's even that's quite heavy. Beautiful performer. Now that's at top speed, so it's not going to it's not going to tear around the track. But if you knock the speed back, it'll sounds like I've got a derailment somewhere. Yep. There we go. I've got to pull him up and put him back on. It's going to happen in a bit with this carriage. I don't know why it's playing up. They'll check the back-to-backs. And they're fine. So I might have something in that track somewhere that's a bit of debris or something that's causing it issues. Not too sure. But anyway. Just had a little spasm in the old spine. God, I was... the only problem with these models, if you look down there, you'll see, maybe you won't see it on this side. I know, I did it on this model as well. You'll see a little bit of plastic. It's a plastic grommet that I've inserted where the screw goes into the hole, holding the gear. It primarily, people, when they maintain these things, they over tighten and destroy the locking mechanism for the gear, and it loses its quartering. So yeah, again employed a bit of that tubing from the earbuds that I used to insulate the wheels on the Markland carriage yesterday, and yeah, I just used it as a grommet, and as you tighten up the screw, it locks in the arm there, and it remains in quarter. And sometimes you just put a little dab of super glue in there just to make sure. Anyway, it's a cheap way out of a big problem. Otherwise, you've got to go looking for another one. But I had to do it on this one as well. So it seems to be a problem. The material that they used was flimsy. It snapped away or broke away, or people too vigorous in tightening things up. So anyway, I've rattled on for long enough. I'll leave you to it. Have a good day.